Welcome to part 2 of our meditation series for managing chronic pain. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Gia with Heyday Wellness. I'm a yoga and meditation teacher, and today I'm sharing with you part 2 of our 3-part meditation series on managing chronic pain. Today we're going to be focusing on working with our emotions. So in our first meditation, we focused on working with the body, and now we're focusing on working with our emotions. In part 3, we'll work with our mindset. These are all really important aspects of dealing with chronic pain: the body, the mind, and the emotions. These meditations are great for anyone with chronic pain, but just as a reminder, this does not replace the need for medical care, so make sure you are still working with your healthcare provider in managing and treating your pain, and meditation is a great adjunct therapy to whatever treatments you're already receiving. So you might be wondering what emotions have to do with managing chronic pain. Well, they're actually very linked. When we experience pain in the body, we tend to have an emotional reaction to that pain. That could be anything from feeling worried, feeling scared, feeling frustrated, feeling sad about the pain you're feeling. It's totally normal to have this emotional reaction to pain in the body. But when you're dealing with chronic pain, it can be really wearing to always be experiencing those heavier emotions around your pain. And it's super helpful to learn how to manage your emotions outside of your pain so that you can still feel happy, even though you have chronic pain. You can still find peace and joy in your day. So that's what we're going to work on in this meditation, separating emotion from the physical sensation of pain. It's possible to feel pain and not have a negative emotional reaction to the pain. And of course, sometimes we need to let ourselves feel whatever sad emotions come up, any anger that comes up, but it's also really useful to have tools for finding our joy again, despite experiencing chronic pain. So in this meditation, I'm going to teach you how to observe and witness the physical sensations of your pain while removing whatever added emotion is there. So sometimes we add meaning to the experience of pain, such as a storyline about how maybe we're not doing enough to take care of our bodies, or we're being punished, or we just don't feel good about ourselves. These kind of mental stories can really add to the emotion that we experience with pain. So we're going to practice just feeling the physical sensations, removing any other layers of meaning or emotion attached to it, and seeing if we can find some positive feelings instead. So let's get started by coming to a comfortable position. I suggest that you find a seated position, perhaps in a chair with your feet planted. If you'd like to lean back into your chair or into a recliner, that works as well. And if your body is really hurting today, then it's okay to lay down if that feels best for you. So let's go ahead and get comfortable and close your eyes when you're ready. As we did in our first meditation, it's important to begin this practice by tuning in with the body. So allow your distractions to fall away. Let go of your thoughts about your day, anything that happened today, or anything you have planned for later today. Come back into this moment where you are present with your physical body. So you might feel your feet on the earth, your hips resting in your seat, your hands in your lap, your clothes on your skin, the air in the room around you. You might notice the feeling of your breath rising and falling in your chest. With an open mind, start to just observe your body. Almost like you're watching a movie or watching a sunset. You're just witnessing how the body's feeling. What sensations are moving through your body right now? And what are the qualities of these sensations? So, to practice this, you might want to zoom in on one area that has a lot of sensation right now. Maybe you're feeling pain in your back or your hip. Wherever you feel that pain or that intense sensation, draw your awareness there. And see what you notice with curiosity, with an open mind. Do you feel temperature, like heat or coolness? Do you feel tingling sensations, or numbness, or pressure, heaviness, tightness? There's no need to judge whatever you feel. We're just observing with curiosity. Just focusing on the physical sensations present. Maybe these sensations move and shift a little bit. They're not static. Is the pain throbbing or aching? Is it dull or sharp? Does the pain move? It's almost like you're witnessing this pain as a science experiment. You are a scientist studying the body, and you're just curious, observing whatever is going on, taking notes in your mind, making observations. Scientists don't change their experiments, right? They don't try to alter the results. They just observe them and take note. So be a scientist, curious about your own body. And you might feel the sensations coming and going. But there's no need to change what you feel. If this pain or these sensations had a color, what color would they be? And if these sensations had a texture or a pattern, what would that look like? Keep witnessing the sensations you feel as color, as patterns, as movement and sensation. And notice if you have any meaning attached to those feelings, those sensations in the body. Are there any storylines about these feelings? Any emotions that come up for you? And if so, those feelings are absolutely valid. There's nothing wrong with them. But I'd just like you to notice that they are separate from the physical sensations. Maybe you feel the sensation of pain in your hip or your back, but you feel the emotion in your heart, or in your throat, or in your mind. And while those emotions are totally valid and they're also present, something to be observed as a scientist, they're also not completely linked to the physical sensations of your pain. There's something separate, something different. And that means they're not linked inextricably. You could have physical sensation without the emotion. You could have the emotion without the physical sensation. They are not bound together. So imagine what it would be like to have your physical sensations, and yet in your heart, in your mind, you feel joy. You feel gratitude. You feel peace and equanimity. Even if that's not quite how you feel right now, imagine that it's possible. What would it be like to feel the physical sensation of pain and stay curious about it, and yet there's no storyline attached, and your emotions are free to flow, and still joy and happiness are possible in your heart, in your mind, in your life? Take a moment to envision this. Imagine feeling that in your body. If today you're feeling sad, but you know that your sadness is not always going to be present when you feel pain, it allows that sadness to move. It allows it to shift so that perhaps joy can arise. Take a couple more breaths here. Go ahead and open your eyes whenever you're ready. I hope you enjoyed this meditation for managing your chronic pain, working with your emotions. This is part 2 of our 3-part meditation series, so make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, Heyday Wellness, so that you can find part 3 of this video series. If you missed part 1, you can always go back and watch that as well. All of these meditations are great to do anytime you'd like. You can come back to them as often as you'd like. Especially if you're having an emotional or stressful day, this meditation will be really useful for you. So come back to it as often as you'd like. If you enjoyed the video, like it, write me a comment below, subscribe to the channel so you'll stay tuned with more content like this, especially part 3 of this meditation series. I'm Gia with Heyday Wellness. Thanks so much for tuning in today, and I will see you soon.